Hey everyone, it's Kitsui here. Today, I would like to talk about one thing that most game developers do. When debugging a game, the most common thing people will do is to use gd.print. It's not that bad, but gd.print must be used carefully. gd.print is great when you need to monitor things such as events that occur sometimes, but not very great to monitor things that can evolve over time. Here, as you can see, we are trying to monitor the speed. And the issue with that is that we can miss some other events that we try to log. So today I'm gonna show you how you can build some kind of monitoring UI that you can enable or disable very easily, just like Minecraft for example. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is to clean all your logs. That's gonna be the first step before you start to build the monitoring system. Then you will create a new scene and select user interface. You can rename the root node by monitoring and press Ctrl or Command S in order to save the scene. In my case, I'm gonna save it at the root of the project. Then add a new node, we're gonna look for VBox container, and you can rename it whatever you want. In my case, I'm gonna rename it items. Inside the VBox container, add a label, and you can add some text inside of it. Now we're gonna duplicate this label by pressing Ctrl D or Command D if you are on macOS. Now save the scene, go back into your level, and drag and drop the monitoring scene into your level. Now you can try to play, and you will notice two issues. First, the text is very small. Secondly, you cannot move your mouse. Like if you were using your mouse in order to move the camera, you cannot do it anymore. So let's fix these two issues. Go back in the monitoring scene, select mouse, and on the filter, select ignore. What was happening is that since control nodes are used for UIs in general, the mouse was captured like if it was a UI, but since we don't have any button or whatever you want, well, we don't really need it. If you go back, you will see that you're able to move your camera, and for the size of the text, select one label, go under control, select theme override and font size, and put the font size that you want. In my case, I'm gonna set something like 32 for example. You can either modify all the labels or just delete all the other ones and duplicate again the first one. Now if we try again, we can see that all the issues are fixed. So let's try to write some scripts. You can select either C# or JavaScript, it doesn't matter. In my case, I usually write all my code in C#. But in this case, I consider that all the scripts that we are going to write will not be included in the final game. I don't care if the code is dirty, I don't care if it's not maintained, I just want something very quick and easy to run, easy to iterate, and easy to write. So even if my whole game is written in C#, I will write the script in JavaScript. But don't worry, I will put both examples. Okay, so to begin with, what we want to monitor are the FPS of the game. So just write this code that will simply set the current text of the label to the current FPS. And all the tiny scripts that we are going to write will be more or less the same. So we will just use the setText method in order to update the value of the text. The benefit of this is that we can very easily add a new thing to monitor or remove one. I also suggest you to prefix all your tiny scripts for monitoring with something like debug or monitor underscore in order to find them very easily when you want to delete them. For the second one, we will just grab the velocity of the player and then, once again, call the setText method in order to update the label text. Also, to make it easier to read, I will keep only 2 digits after the decimal point. And voila, we already have 2 things that are nice to have in our game in order to monitor it in real time. Now, I won't dig much more into what you can add because it will really depend on your games, but there is an example of what you can get once you have a lot of them that are set up. In my case, I have set up the player movement state. I have also set up the target speed, which depends also on the state of the player, but also I added a progress bar to see the player velocity in a better way. So all of these are just example how far you can go and customize your UI very easily. So yeah, that's way better than the system with gd.print that we had before, because now you can see in real time how it evolved, and yeah, it's way easier to monitor simply. So now it's up to you to monitor whatever data you want. As I said in the beginning of the video, monitoring is more for things that can evolve, but that doesn't mean that you must not use GDPrint anymore. It just depends on the context and use case. But for velocity of the player and for FPS, I think like you might all agree that it makes sense to have it in a monitoring system rather than having in some logs. So yeah, that's pretty much all for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. It was a very simple tutorial. I did not went very far so that any beginners with the game engine can follow it. So yeah, if you liked the video or if it was useful, please consider subscribing. I hope to see you next time for a new tutorial or for next video of my devlog. So yeah, thank you for watching.